This podcast is sponsored by Tieleman Pool Technology. Experts have predicted that Tieleman movable floors are going to take the pool industry by storm. So are you a high-end pool builder who wants to expand their business and increase sales with this luxurious pool solution? Then don't miss this opportunity, as Tieleman Pool Technology is looking for dealers in the United States. Learn more about us by visiting our website at tieleman.eu.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast. Today, we're going to be chatting with luxury outdoor living designer Thevenot, president and the principal designer of AquaTerra Outdoors. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today on the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
So before we get started, Tal, I'd just like to start by asking you, how you first got started in the business and how you started designing luxury backyards.
Well, I grew up in the Midwest on a farm, in a farming community, and everything we did was outdoors, from our gardening, crops, livestock, and really fell in love with just the outdoor environment and working and living within it. And through a process of starting to work into construction as well, during that time frame, I fell in love with architecture. So I ended up pursuing architecture, at Kansas State University, which led to gaining my master's in landscape architecture from K-State.
So from there, what was your first foray into to working for somebody?
Well, I worked in the industry throughout college, so different internships and working while I was in school. Really all kind of construction, landscape, working on the grounds crew at the university, working for kind of a relatively famous landscape architect that lived there locally and did projects, small projects on the side, and then eventually did a co-op internship in Dallas, Texas. And obviously that's where AquaTerra is based out of today.
Tons of awards and recognition over the years for your work. Really big year in 2021, another big year last year. It seems like you guys set the bar higher and higher each year. What's your secret to success? What are you doing to run a successful design and build firm in one of the most competitive markets in America?
That's a loaded question, right? And I wish I had a perfect answer, but at the end of the day, I think it starts with leadership, and it really is about the team. We have a passionate team, a very talented team, and we all continue to set the goal higher and higher each year for ourselves, as well as a company collectively.
Well, when you're working with a homeowner on their wish list for what their ideal outdoor living space is going to be, what's your process like? How do you connect with clients and their vision so that you can deliver exactly what they're looking for?
Yeah, so once we schedule the initial consultation, we meet with them on site, really to start to understand the program and the scope of the work. What is their vision? And then just start taking cues from what's their life look like, little things from maybe clothing, jewelry, furniture, cars, just overall design influence within their residence, so we can start to kind of understand who they are and what they're looking to accomplish. Obviously, it's loaded with a lot of questions about them, their lifestyle, how they want to live, relax, and play outdoors. And ultimately, from there, we deliver a proposal for design services.
So it's just getting to know them, their lifestyle, and how they intend to use the space.
Yeah, it's connecting. It's all about the connection. And so it's just, starting to understand what they want to accomplish. Inspiration photos are always great. We have a huge portfolio for them to look through and to give us, different ideas, what they like, and probably more importantly, what they don't like. And from there, we start conceptual design phase and presenting ideas to them.
Well, we were following you quite a bit, especially during the height of COVID. You were posting some really interesting stuff, and I saw the 5-part video series that you did during that time frame to explain the process to adapting doing business during the pandemic. What made you come up with the idea to want to do that?
Well, I think that time was scary for all of us across the nation at different levels, especially for myself being a business owner with a team of 50 people working for us, and most of them being primary breadwinners. So ultimately, we were just trying to dig deep into, what is it that people are looking for, and how can we connect with them? And ultimately, I think we were all starving for that human connection. And so we just decided to start a series, kind of showcasing ourselves and how we were working through COVID, and that we were still there working and delivering projects and planning projects.
When I look at your designs that you have on the internet, I mean, there's so much going on there, multiple layers. There's obviously different cycles and iterations that you're going through with this design with the client before the design plan is finalized. I saw that drafting process. I mean, one of the designers, Alex, was doing in CAD. I saw the 3D rendered versions that have gone through Lumion. The design aspect is a really labor intensive process. I mean, how much back and forth is there typically between you and the client before you're able to lock in a concept that they're really ready to go with?
It varies drastically. A lot of our clients, probably surprisingly to most, there's very little going back and forth. So we're able to really kind of dive into what their vision is, that program and the scope of the work. And then we obviously just do that collection process of looking at photos. We deliver that initial design, and I don't know what the percentage is, but more times than not, we end up very close to that final design, or our final design ends up close to that preliminary concept design. And then there's other projects that there's a lot of going back and forth. And so it's hard to answer that specifically, but I would say more times than not, the final design master plan is pretty similar to the initial concept design.
I know that, on a lot of these projects, you're collaborating with different vendors, different builders, different engineers. I mean, what are some of the challenges that you face from the design side when you're collaborating with others on the execution side of these jobs?
From the execution side, if you have a good team, there's usually not. We have a great team around us in Dallas, people that we frequently work with. Obviously, we're a significant firm in this area and have great relationships. But there are things to look out for that experience will teach any of us. And some small examples: if the builder is responsible for putting in driveways and sidewalks and curb and gutter, and we notify them of where we want our sleeve locations, just making sure that we follow up to make sure the sleeves are there. We're able to get the infrastructure through, underneath driveways, what have you. Sometimes we're working alongside with them for drainage, and we have pump stations under basements here in North Texas. Just making sure that we collaborate on French drains for foundations, drainage, irrigation, and then of course the pool element, usually is somewhat standalone. We've had a couple projects recently where we're really kind of cohesively tying in with the home structure. So the engineers are involved there, working with the builder very closely. And again, it's just about communication and relationships there. So being on the same team.
Is that a very prevalent thing that you're seeing in your area? I mean, we just did an article in Pool Magazine about some of the hottest outdoor living trends that you're going to see this year. I mean, the open plan pool concept in the backyard is very hot on homeowners' wish list right now.
Yeah, that open concept, right? Minimizing boundaries from interior to exterior, that's huge. And so we are trying to merge and blend those boundaries, or merge kind of the indoors out and outdoors in, and blend the boundaries so there isn't any strong separation of space. As far as like tying structures together, as I just spoke about, that's probably not as prevalent as a whole. We're certainly known for our one-off, high-end kind of exclusive projects, and so that certainly is not what you would typically see in North Texas. But we've had the opportunity to do quite a few structures that are connected to the home structure.
Well, you have an enormous body of work. I mean, out of all the projects that you've worked on over the past couple of years, I mean, designed and collaborated over the years, which one is one of the most noteworthy ones to you that stands out in your memory as far as, this made my hit list?
Oh gosh, that's such a hard question for somebody like myself. There's just so much passion that goes into each project. But I would probably start with like early on in my career and with AquaTerra, with the opportunity to create a Roman bathhouse. That was one of our first projects featured on HGTV. So, that was a special opportunity and such a unique, one of a kind project. I'll never see anything like that again. More recently, very significant project in Highland Park includes an Aqua lift, spa in a courtyard space, a perimeter overflow pool in the backyard, custom fire features and structures. And it's a very complicated project and in progress right now, and soon to be completed. And that's going to certainly make some waves in the industry as first Aqua lift in the residential setting in the Texas market. So we're very excited about that. Last year, we had a project in University Park with a large water wall big slide house, rain curtain. That one was one of them I was talking about. It's actually incorporated into the foundation of the house, the way we had to merge the structures together with the basement and the pool. So that one was fun. The team was fun to work with. I had a great team on that. And I could go on and on. Love my personal pool at my home and the whole landscape. We actually designed and built the entire property, house included. And so that was very rewarding as well. But again, I could go on and on about a number of projects.
Does it make you a little biased, Tal, because it's your pool?
It's as a designer and somebody that does get some attention for their creativity. It's very, very hard to design for yourself. So there was a lot put into it, and I did have support from others as well. But I am biased at my own project, of course.
I figured. I mean, you're in the Dallas area for sure. I mean, there's a lot of great builders that you probably collaborate with in your neck of the woods. I mean, what are some of your go-to firms for collaborating on an over-the-top pool build for a customer?
Yeah, so as far as collaboration in the pool industry or even the landscape industry, it's really just Randy Angel of Randy Angel Designs that we collaborate with, frequently. Randy and I are very good friends. He is an amazing designer. Love working with him. And then from there, we collaborate with a lot of architects. A lot of our projects are new construction. We are being brought into the project early for the landscape architecture approach and designing along the side of the architects and collaborating with them. And the interior designers as well. I really like to, once they've engaged a good interior design firm, I really like to get involved with them, talk about our vision, talk about their vision, color palettes, looking at kind of the color theory throughout the home. Of course, the furnishing package inside, what's that look like? What's the style going to be? How do we really merge these spaces and make it feel like a continuation? Again, going back to minimizing those boundaries from interior to exterior.
For sure. I mean, obviously, there's been a huge difference the last 2 years in the outdoor living sector. The pandemic, there was this whole renewed emphasis on building a pool. I mean, we saw a huge spike in demand during that time frame. Beautifying the backyard became like a real big priority for a lot of homeowners. What's it been like for you and AquaTerra? I mean, the last couple of years, I mean, how have you adjusted to kind of like the market resettling back down?
Yeah, so initially, the biggest challenge for us was lead intake. We're not designed to have that many leads come in and, prospects reaching out to our office, our firm. So that was like the biggest challenge. And from there, we quickly started becoming very selective on who we wanted to engage with and work with. We were not planning to scale drastically. We didn't want to scale drastically. We wanted to stay focused on the creativity, quality, and service our firm's known to deliver. And so we stayed true to our roots. And we did grow some through it. And then, as we kind of all got a little bit further into COVID, we all dealt with the challenges of just inflation and sourcing of materials, so pool equipment was a huge challenge. We actually made it through that one better than most, just, a lot of great relationships, fortunately. But inflation was one that really still impacted us drastically into last year. We've started changing some of our operations and systems. And I think we're in a really good spot this year moving forward to help manage issues like that.
Yeah, I mean, is the demand still as crazy as it's been, or do you see a return to the norm coming now that folks are going back to the office and they're going back to work and they're going on vacation again?
Well, I'd say for us, I think we're back to normal. And now what we're starting to see is kind of the middle market slowing down, but our opportunities are still strong. And so the high-end projects are still there, fortunately. We're blessed to have those opportunities, but we're certainly not as it's not as intense as it was in early COVID. And I think we're happier to be back in this place.
Well, we saw a lot of builders go down in your market, particularly this year. I mean, last 2 years was certainly a trial by fire in terms of keeping up with demand and maintaining pricing structures. I mean, what's going on now recently with AquaTerra? I mean, we're a third of the way through the year. What kind of projects are you working on right now? What's coming up next?
Oh gosh, we've got some exciting projects we're working on now. A lot of very fun, exciting projects and some amazing ones being designed and planning process to kick them off. So, we're just going to continue to do what we do. We want to grow each day, each year. Again, as a team, individually in our craft. And, we want to set the bar in the industry. We want to be one of the leaders. There's some amazing, builders out there in our industry that are really leading, and we want to be one of the leaders within the industry that others can look up to. And, we can help grow the industry as a whole.
A lot of award recognition last year. I saw a bunch of projects hitting your timeline. I mean, do you think it's going to be another big year at the award table for AquaTerra?
That's a great question. I think it will be if we decide to submit for awards. We don't always do the best job submitting and slowing down. We work for our clients first, and then ourselves second. So we certainly have many award-winning projects that have been completed in the last 12, 18 months that have not been submitted for awards. So yeah, if we submit for awards this year, I think we'll you'll see a lot of our work out there being published.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. Tal, thanks so much for being with us on the show today. Great conversation. And we really appreciate you stopping by to talk shop with us today on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thanks for listening in, and make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and we'll catch you next time on the next episode of Pool Magazine Podcast.
This podcast is sponsored by Tieleman Pool Technology. Experts have predicted that Tieleman movable floors are going to take the pool industry by storm. So are you a high-end pool builder who wants to expand their business and increase sales with this luxurious pool solution? Then don't miss this opportunity, as Tieleman Pool Technology is looking for dealers in the United States. Learn more about us by visiting our website at tieleman.eu.